Four men get mouth ulcers after eating 30 kilograms of oranges at an airport to avoid paying extra baggage fees. A man was jailed for having sex with chickens in front of his wife and is now allowed to keep pets. And the police in South Holland prevent riots by giving out some free coffee. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News. They're from all around the world. My name is Jonesy, the host of Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I'm glad that you've joined me today. Hope you had a nice weekend. Let's do it.
Hey, mainstream news. Listen to Weird AF News with Jonesy.
Four men get mouth ulcers after eating 30 kilograms of oranges at an airport in order to avoid paying the extra baggage fee. The incident occurred at an airport in Kunming, southwest China, where four travelers ate 30 kilograms of oranges inside the airport in a record 30 minutes. Yeah, that is dedication. That is dedication to avoiding a baggage fee. Some people would describe this as a cheap move, like these guys are cheap. But you know what? On principle, I don't like paying those baggage fees because I remember a time when you didn't have to pay baggage fees. You didn't have to pay for the meal. They gave you a free meal. Remember those days, guys? And now on principle, I hate paying such fees. Now, I don't think I could eat 60-something pounds of oranges right in the airport. I think that's a little crazy. Let's find out some more information. Did they survive this incident? I feel like if you ate this many oranges, something bad would happen to you. So in a bizarre incident, four men paid a heavy price after they resorted to some drastic steps to reduce their extra baggage fee at an airport. In an incident that is now going viral, four men got mouth ulcers after they decided to eat 30 kilograms or 66 pounds of oranges at the airport. The incident occurred, as I said, in Kunming. Now, the most impressive part about this is they ate the oranges in a record 30 minutes. That is so fast. I don't know how. Let me see. It's 66 pounds roughly of oranges. If you divide that by 4, that's like what, 16 pounds each of oranges for each person? Each person ate 16 pounds in a half an hour of oranges. I don't see how this could happen. I really don't see how this is physically possible. I really don't. A pound of oranges is what? 5 oranges? 4 oranges? I mean, these 100 oranges in 30 minutes? How is that possible? According to the report by the Global Times, a man whose surname is Wang, in China, that really narrows it down to about 45 million. So Wang and his 3 colleagues bought a box of oranges weighing 30 kilograms. How do you buy? Okay. I mean, I can't say that I've ever seen a box of oranges that big. Is this at the duty-free shop? You're buying 66 pounds of oranges at the duty-free shop? Dude, just buy whiskey and cigars and move on with your life. This was during their business trip to Kunming. During their purchase, they didn't realize that the airlines would ask them to shell out some extra cash as shipping charges for the oranges. I don't know why they didn't think that. As they prepared to board the plane back home, the airport said it was going to charge them 10 won for each kilogram in shipping fees for the oranges, totaling 300 won. I don't know how much money that is, but it must be enough to get these men to risk their life eating all the oranges in a half hour's time. I mean, mouth ulcers, I'm sure, is just the beginning of their health problems. They probably got rickets. I don't know, rickets. Not willing to pay the extra fees, of course. These guys were at a point where they thought, you know what, let's eat all these fruits together. That's effing teamwork. It took them under 30 minutes to finish the box. Here's a quote. We just stood there and ate the whole thing up. It took about 20 to 30 minutes. That's what Wang told the media. 20 to 30 minutes to eat 100 oranges each. I think you guys have a skill here. It's a very special skill. I don't know in what instances you can capitalize off this skill, other than this instance, where you got to eat all these oranges to not pay an extra fee. Clearly, you have the gift of eating tons of fruit. I mean, did you call Guinness? Did you find out if this is a record? It must be. I don't know. Test yourselves. Can you guys break the banana eating record? I mean, don't stop here, guys. Wang and crew. While it may seem as a daring feat, the 4 men suffered from this. What happened? Well, in the form of mouth ulcers after eating all of this citrus. Post-ordeal, they were rightly left feeling like never eating oranges again. They mouth ulcers, man. Yeah, if you eat this much citrus, uh, I'm a big fan of pineapple, and man, sometimes I just have to stop myself because I'll eat so much pineapple that I will get these mouth ulcers. How annoying! This is just not fair that you get mouth ulcers from eating delicious fruit. It's just not fair. I mean, you're eating something that's healthy. You should be rewarded, not punished. Like if you ate, I don't know, if you ate 100 Hershey Kisses and that gave you a mouth ulcer. Yeah, I understand that. It's Hershey Kisses. These things aren't very healthy for you. But if you're eating, oranges, why? Why would you have to suffer as an organism? By the way, we've all, developed, from my understanding, we've evolved from a species of mammal that lived on a diet of fruits. Now, when I eat fruits, I get a mouth ulcer? That makes no sense whatsoever. No sense. It's just like my nut allergy. It makes no evolutionary sense. I have evolved from a species that lived on a diet of mainly fruits and nuts. And yet when I eat a nut, my body's like, I don't know what to do with this. What is this foreign object in my organism? In another amusing incident, a woman faked her pregnancy to avoid extra baggage fees at an Australian airport. She created a fake baby bump that contained extra clothing and a laptop charger that wouldn't fit in her travel bag. These are the lengths that people are going to not to pay this extra baggage fee, and I can't blame them. A baggage fee on what airline did I take? The last Delta, I think $55 for an extra bag, and that's ridiculous. All the clothes in that suitcase that I was trying to bring on, or extra bag rather, don't even add up. The price of the clothing doesn't even add up to $55. Doesn't even. I was like, why don't I just buy clothes when I get there? Hell with this baggage fee. A man jailed for having sex with chickens in front of his wife is allowed to keep pets. A man who had some sex with some pet chickens while his wife filmed it will be allowed to keep animals under a legal loophole. I don't know how this works. Rahan Bayeg was sentenced for this disturbing act of having sex with chickens in front of his wife. How lenient is the wife in this instance? She's just allowing him to have sex with the pet chickens? Just don't understand that at all. How much does she hate sex with him that she's like, you know what? Please, just do it with the chickens. I'd rather have you with the chickens than with me. I mean, that's how bad it is with you. All right? And oh, you want me to film it? Yeah, fine. Just I don't want you touching me. Okay? Just go to town on the chickens. I'll film it for your new YouTube channel called Chicken Love, whatever it is. This occurred in the UK, by the way. The judge who sentenced him to jail for having sex with the chicken also banned him from owning animals. Yeah, as he should. That seems like a natural course of events to a man who has had sex with pet chickens to ban him from owning animals. That seems logical to me. Why was the ban lifted? Well, it was brought to light that the judge does not have the power to ban him from owning animals. I don't get it. In fact, it says he can only be banned from owning pets had he faced animal cruelty charges. So what are the charges then of having sex with a chicken? I don't understand. Is that, cheating on your wife? Is that the charge? Just being a weirdo, a straight up weirdo? Is that the charge? It sounds like animal cruelty to me. I'm surprised PETA isn't all over this. Oh, I'm sorry. They're too busy, making sure you don't use the word pig to describe a pig because it's demeaning. Great job, PETA. The judge is quoted as saying, unfortunately, I'm going to delete the condition from the order. There was no animal cruelty charge on the indictment. I have no power, therefore, to prohibit this man from owning animals. It's unfortunate. I don't understand why there's no animal cruelty charge. Am I missing something here? He said that the prosecution could look into alternative ways to prevent him from keeping or owning animals again. Yeah, how about you keep him in prison? This is where a chicken screwer needs to be, in my opinion. In prison. There's no need for him to be activated and allowed to fraternize with the rest of us non-chicken screwers. I mean, I'm sure his wife misses him, okay? She had some great videos that she was just proud of. She was able to use a lot of the new filters on her Instagram of him screwing the chickens. She's going to miss him, clearly. They had a nice connection there over chicken orgies. Wow, what a weird lady she is, too, by the way. Police seized the devices from his home in July where they found the images and videos, among which there was an image of this guy and his wife performing a sex act on a dog as well. Wow, a dog. That's not animal cruelty either? I mean, how much more evidence do you need, UK courts, that this is animal cruelty? He's screwing chickens and performing sex acts on a dog. I'm sure none of the animals wanted to be part of that. You think you think this is consensual sex by the chickens, therefore not animal cruelty? Where are you getting your animal cruelty parameters, UK? I'm very curious. And hey, PETA, why don't you get your thumbs out of your ass and change the laws to make it animal cruelty if you have non-consensual sex with chickens or dogs?
You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man.
Police in South Holland prevent riots by giving out free coffee. The police in Leiden, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, forgive me. The police managed to ensure a very quiet weekend, despite calls for riots. Only one suspect was actually arrested for the intention of starting a riot. How did the police officers maintain the peace? Well, by giving out free coffee. Unbelievable. I would stop my rioting for free coffee as well. I mean, as long as it's cold brew. Calls to begin riots in various places in Leiden circulated on social media during the past week. Messages on WhatsApp indicated that hundreds of young people were making plans to cause disturbances in the area. Many messages contain the idea to go and, quote, drink coffee, which has become a term used to indicate the intention to riot or cause unrest. Oh, okay, so they're using the phrase drink coffee as code word for going and rioting. The police used this metaphor and went to the area considered most at risk, and with them, jugs of coffee. Here's a quote from law enforcement officials. "We love coffee, which is why we went to the agreed place with a number of local police officers, law enforcement officials, the mayor, and our team chef. Of course, we also took a few jugs of coffee and tea with us. It worked." Yes, it worked. Yes, we want to appease our residents, and of course, we want to prevent our beautiful city from suffering from the demonstrations and riots surrounding the discussion about this curfew. We had a lot of visitors, and so the evening went very smoothly. I'm very pleased. This is brilliant, you know. I don't know if you guys know what's going on in the Netherlands, but everybody's upset with the curfews, and so they're rioting in Holland and in neighboring areas all over the country, really. They just don't want to be told that they can't leave their house for certain hours, and who can blame them? But they're burning vehicles, they're burning buildings, they burned down a vaccine location. I've been following it on Twitter, and it's been pretty disturbing, the images. And, you know, it's hard for the police to control such things. And so what a brilliant solution to actually bring jugs of coffee and just assuage the rioters. I mean, how you gonna riot with a pumpkin spice latte in your hand? I mean, really, you can't. First of all, you're going to spill it. All right. Secondly, it just makes you happy. It makes you forget about your cares and your problems. You're like, curfew? What curfew? This is delicious. What is this? Notes of nutmeg? In the end, only one 19-year-old man from Nordwijkerhout. What? How do you should not be allowed to name your cities this way. A K that follows a J. No, that should be illegal in language law. Nordwijkerhout. Forget about it. I'm not paid enough to get this right. This 19-year-old was the only one arrested for the intention of inciting violence. Turns out he's not a coffee drinker. He's like, no soda? No soda? Burn the place down! Hi, everybody. It's Jonesy, and I want to thank you for joining me again on another episode of Weird AF News. I hope you enjoyed Friday's episode, Florida Friday. Hope you had a nice weekend as well. I want to thank Julie, who bought me coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com. There's a link there that you can click to buy me a coffee. And then you can also leave a nice little message, which Julie did, of course. She wrote, "Hey Jonesy, just reaching out to say hi from the UK. Weird AF News is on my get through lockdown list. I love the accents that you try, though. Frankly, your English accent is not great and needs some work. However, your East European take off cracks me up. The goose who was taken to the beach to drink vodka was the best ever. Stay safe, buddy." Yeah, you stay safe too as well, Julie, over there in the UK. I really appreciate my UK listeners. Super cool fans from over there. I never thought I'd be liked by people in the UK. I wasn't sure I had the right sense of humor. But to some, I seem to be entertaining. So I'm grateful. Thank you, Julie. And I do love, especially that story I did about the goose who was taken to the beach to drink vodka. I re-listened to that like a few days later. I don't often crack myself up when I re-listen to the episodes, but on that one I really did. It was the story's so crazy. To get the goose drunk on a beach with vodka. Hilarious story, man. If you guys haven't listened to that one, just Google it and go back. I don't know. It was like 3 months ago, I think. What else? Oh, someone joined the Patreon, and it's Heather Chapasco, which is just a really cool last name because it rhymes with Tabasco. Do they call you Tabasco, Heather? I'm curious. Because if you were my friend, which you now are, I would call you Tabasco all the time. Dude, we got to pick up Tabasco. We're going to get some Tex-Mex. What's Tex-Mex without Tabasco? Heather, we're on our way. Thank you for joining the Patreon, Heather. I appreciate your support. Please enjoy the extra content in the Patreon. And please enjoy the free download of Tales of Florida, the comic book. Yeah, I mentioned to you guys on Friday that I partnered up with Title Page Comics, who has created a comic book series featuring our favorite superhero, Florida Man. And it's called Tales of Florida. Florida with a D-U-H. And yeah, you can visit Title Page Comics Facebook page and purchase these, what do they call them? Not episodes. Issues, right? They're comic book issues. Sorry, I'm not really I was going to say, I'm not really a nerd. I don't know much about comics. I'm really not. But I know not all, you don't have to be a nerd to like comics. Not anymore. See, when I was growing up, only nerds like comics. Now it's very mainstream to enjoy comics, but I just don't. But I did enjoy Tales of Florida because within the first issue number 0, which is the free one that I'm giving out if you join the Patreon, there are certain headlines from the Florida stories that I've covered in there. It's like the Florida man goes and stops somebody from masturbating next to a dumpster outside of a Chick-fil-A. Like that kind of, not that exactly, but similar headlines that I know I've covered. So they're taking real Florida man headlines and putting them into story, which I think is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So yeah, for joining the Patreon, you get a download. I give you the free download of episode issue number 0 of Tales of Florida. And if you guys would like to check out that series, you can go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/titlepagecomics, or check out indieplanet.com and then look for Tales of Florida. And you can buy those episodes there. Or just join the Patreon and get a free download. That's how you do it. I got what else here? Ooh, okay, so we thanked Julie. We thanked Heather. Oh, I wanted to read a negative review that I got on Amazon from someone called That Casper. Crazy, Casper, because I actually went golfing yesterday after work, and one of the people that was paired up with us was named Casper. And I thought to myself, what a rare name for a human being. But now here I got to review someone named Casper as well, who doesn't like the podcast. But let's review it. Let's read the review anyways, because it's well done. It's very organized. 1 star, more like cringy AF news. Okay, so even kind of funny, cringy. And then Casper wrote, "Yikes, the only thing weird about this podcast is Jonesy. He's so unfunny and cringy, it makes me antsy trying to listen to him. There is zero intelligence behind his humor. He's that only child in 5th grade that just says random stuff out loud all day, every day, that only thinks he's being cute because he desperately craves attention. Basic gist of his show." And then he gives us 3 bullet points. Number 1. Reads other people's internet news snippets in horrible voices and accents, sometimes attempting to make funny songs out of them. Even his natural voice is annoying AF. Well, I have I've been hired so many times for voiceovers that there's a whole industry that disagrees with you on that. Okay, number 2. Jonesy shits on anyone intelligent, successful, or in college trying to better themselves, which is an obvious intent to throw shade at people that don't want to end up on crappy podcasts, making zero impact. Number 3, plays voicemails from like-minded dregs to pump up his ego. Wow, really? I don't play the voicemails to pump up my ego, and I really take offense that you would make fun of my listeners. That's where that's not okay. You can make fun of me all you want, Casper, which is stupid name, but you don't make fun of the listeners of this show, all right? Where are your manners, sir? Lastly, he writes, honestly, I tried my darndest, but the fact that you use the word darndest, we would never be friends anyways in real life. So he says, honestly, I tried my darndest, but 3 listens was enough before dumping him from the Google Home device. Oh, so sad that I lost Casper as a loyal listener after 3 episodes. Thank you for the review, Casper. It actually was very well done. I mean, you're very good at writing reviews. I feel sorry for you that you have this much time on your hands. But hey, it is a pandemic, and I guess if one thing a lot of us have is free time. If you guys would like to leave a review, just go to Amazon.com and do a search for Weird AF News, and you can leave a review there if you have an Amazon account. And clearly, I need people to offset the 1-star reviews that I have there. So if you guys like the show and you'd like to leave a review, that would be really helpful to go to Amazon. But you can also go to iTunes as well, or AKA Apple Podcasts, and leave a review there. That's very helpful. I'm not quite sure where else you can leave reviews. I mean, I'm waiting for reviews to be available on places like Google Podcasts, but it just doesn't seem to be available. Oh, speaking of Google, I had a listener write in an email to me saying that listening on the Google Home was challenging for her. She said that the volume, we had an issue with the volume. Now, I don't have a Google Home device. She mentioned she was listening on a Google Home Mini. I listen on Spotify or Google Podcasts on a smartphone, and it sounds totally fine. The volume's perfect. It sounds crisp and clear, and it's loud enough that I don't even have to put up the volume all the way. I can still hear it. So, but I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys if this is common on a Google device to listen to it. Like my show, she said my voice isn't loud enough on the recording. And so I was curious. I want to get some more feedback from you guys. If you could let me know how it sounds. And what I might have to do is just buy a Google Home, a Mini or something, just so I can kind of test it at home to see how it comes through. But I want to ask you guys first before I do that, if it's okay. When you listen on your smart speaker. Call my show or email me. The email is funnyjones@gmail.com. The number is 646-450-2012. Check out the Patreon, where if you join, you get to download the Florida Man comic book for free, among other things. It's patreon.com/weirdafnews. I got some calls over the weekend. Going to publish that now, and we'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all.
Hey, Jonesy, this here comic book here you got here about the Florida Man. Is this like a how-to? Like, is this something I should live my life by? I mean, I've been reading the Bible every day, but should I pick this up as well as like a companion piece? Anyway, Jonesy, get back at me.
You're scolding people for going to college these days, and you're saying instead that they shouldn't be wasting their money and they should learn some skills like shooting a gun and growing potatoes and making beef jerky and learning how to use a machete. I got one question for you, man. Are you sure you weren't at that insurrection at the Washington Capitol? Hang up, Google. Hey, Google, hang up.
Yay!